this is LOL. Joe Biden's brain is completely fried. This is now keep in mind the verbal fuck ups we have seen from Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity tonight. I mean, it's insanity. But I want you to watch this, and what you're going to see, and I'm pretty sure what he's talking about. I haven't watched it, but there's a verbal flub that the right wing's been making a lot of hay about, and it's one of those moments where you kind of like choke back a word and you pronounce it right, but you just kind of, it's misheard. It's not quite saying insanerny or something. It's, you know, where you're like, well, we'll see. Maybe that's not what he's talking about, but I want to see if he stands by his own father's phrases. Hold on. I need to cue some stuff up. Let's go.
Stake of America, for God's sakes.
I see. The United Stake of America is what he says.
This is the United Stake of America, for God's sakes. Yeah, guys.
Yeah, guys. Hans, Booby, I can give them to you.
Mr. Joe Biden's at it again, speaking.
Honestly, no person exemplifies the shittiest character in Die Hard better than Don Jr. It's like he's cosplaying him all the time.
It's amazing
He's
that
like
when he
Herm
opens
Ellis.
his mouth, how our power as a country, as the defenders of democracy, just diminishes each and every time he opens his mouth.
Yeah, except for the time he said, I don't give a shit about Putin's red lines. That basic point? Yeah.
Get over yourself.
Hype train.
Parking lot of a fast food restaurant so their children could use the internet to get their homework done. This is the United States of America, for God's sake.
Now, I know you...
Okay, so he, this is the United States of America, for God's sakes. And he goes at that second. Now, he has a stutter. We'll deal with that a little bit. But it's not because he thinks it's the United States of America. But the point he's making, by the way, and why he's angry, is the fact that there are poor kids who, to use the internet, their parents have to drive them over to sit in the parking lot of a Taco Bell that has Wi-Fi so they can use it, or a McDonald's, or a Starbucks, so they can do their homework sitting in a car. And that's the point he's trying to make. And by the way, this is that's the entirety of it. That verbal flub.
Take it out for yourself.
Parking lot of a fast food restaurant so their children could use the internet to get their homework done. This is the United States of America, for God's sake.
Now,
so he says States of America, and it's jammed up. It's like this is the United States of America, but like, you know, it's one of those moments. Everybody talks like that. You can roll past that. Now, again, I don't know if his father ever
branch of the U.S. Armed Forces in 75 years, Space Force, not since the when they gaze upon Yosemites, action replays in magnified fortune.
Okay, is there a difference, I ask you? Is there a difference between going to say the United States of America, States of America, Stakes of America, and you kick up your tongue while you're talking in your middle of a speech, and you know people know what you're talking about, and you just kind of move on. And when no one believes for a second that you think you are the president of the United States of America, right? No one would fall under that delusion. But
action replays in magnified fortune.
You go about explaining to people.
People want other people de-engineering, stop shooting and knifing people to death. They do action replays in magnified fortune.
Where you actually try to explain whatever the fuck you were saying.
With us today, our amazing Vice President Mike Pence and his wonderful wife, Carrot.
Yeah. For those of you that might be new to the show, that is from Donald Trump at the National Prayer Breakfast. I think it was in the Rose Garden. It was the little prayer meeting or whatever. It was the only thing that Karen Pence wanted to go to with her husband. It was the whole Christian gathering. And he called her Carrot Pence.
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Karen.
Now, beyond the slips of the tongue, like Biden just had, here's something that Trump said that was accidental, not in his remarks, but arguably true.
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
Okay, so, but on none of those quotes.
Soup for my family. Wildlife refuges. I mean, you look at this, you look at what we do with our wildlife.
I mean, I can't imagine what our standing in Nicaragua is.
Very bad things are happening in Nicaragua.
So, at no point did Don Jr. rush to a microphone to decry his own father for saying he's going to appoint very pro-crime judges.
You're not allowed to talk about Joe Biden, any possible diminished mental or physical capacity. I mean, you know, I got criticized for...
What do you mean you're not allowed to? You do it all the time. It's the only thing you have. I mean, you have to do that because your father's a dunce.
Calling him out when he couldn't walk up the stairs of Air Force One, or when what would be, I guess, future Queen of England, or at least Prince Charles's wife, talks about his flatulence in a room and how it was basically unmistakable and something you couldn't avoid talking about and all of those things. But then you see this.
But then...
He can't even get the United States of America correct. He can't get the basic thing that he is the president of even correct. Not even that can he get.
That's weird. It's almost like mispronouncing Air Force and saying ass force.
First new branch of the U.S. Armed Forces in 75 years, Space Force. Not since the Air Force.
Not since the ass force. I understand. Air sounds a lot like ass. It's a slip of the tongue that involves ass.
First new branch of the U.S. Armed Forces in 75 years, Space Force. Not since the Air Force.
And look, how many people know exactly how many L's are in the word illegal?
Legal, yeah, look. Legal, yeah, look.
Right, okay. You get the point.
And you got to wonder. I mean, they put him up against Vladimir Putin yesterday. He's up against Vladimir Putin now. He's waving.
He's up against Vladimir Putin. And how do they even take him, guys? How do they even take him seriously? I mean, he was in there. He's on a video call. He has no cocaine, no Adderall, no Sudafed, no crushed green Sudafed from Europe. He's got no methamphetamine. He's got no Pervitin. How's he even going to compete? Putin's at the top of his game. I mean, for somebody whose economy sucks and really arms sales to North Korea is really his only way out, and his best friend's China, but they're trying to fuck him by selling arms to Pakistan while he's selling arms to India. They're having this kind of proxy war and shit like that. But I mean, honestly, guys.
And you see, there's like a picture of him. He's waving. Hey, how's it going, Vlad? I can't wait. It's like a kindergartner. It's literally like my child when I call them on a Zoom call and, hey, just want to say goodnight.
Yeah, that's how you see your children?
Hey, Dad. It's like that, and you wonder how...
Is it? Because Putin didn't come out of that meeting feeling that way. He did when you had meetings with your dad, except it was the other way around. I think your dad was the one who was like, hi, Dad.
The other countries are just eating our lunch right now, just taking total advantage of the incompetence. Getting him to do and say stuff. And I mean, beyond the corruption, right? Beyond, obviously, whatever ties they may have in through Hunter Biden and, calling in those chips, of which there seem to be plenty and many.
Plenty and many. Oh, all right. Well, that's an important distinction. Plenty and many. I didn't realize there was really that much of a difference that you would use them both at the same time, but hey.
But beyond even that, just when America isn't at the top of its game, you see what's going on. You see the disaster of Afghanistan and what was going on there. And, China.
Yeah, what was going on there? It's not going on there anymore because we're out. Thank you,
They
Melinda.
probably accelerated their time frame, whatever it was, to take over Taiwan, and there was probably a time frame. It's just moved up.
There was probably a time frame. They just moved it up. They were working on it during Trump's era, but they just went faster to not doing it.
A lot. Russia, same thing. They're amassing
A lot.
the Ukraine border because they see our weakness. They see our incompetence. They see the leader of the free world not remember or not be able to say the name of the country that he's the leader of, because it's the United States of America, ladies and gentlemen, the United States of America.
Yeah, nobody makes those kind of
To me,
mistakes
Corona means
while they're-
Italy.
Winston Churchill stood on the rooftops in London, very calm, making speeches. Winston Churchill.
When they gaze upon Yosemites, hydrosonic, I call it super duper.
I had to beat off, and we developed just some very good friendship.
And we developed some very good friendship.
You can't make this crap up anymore, folks. You really can't. It's pretty disgusting, and I just hope everyone else wakes up to exactly what's going on. Wakes up to the exact amount of insanity that the Democrat Party has sold us as though it's great under their guise of woke nonsense. And we finally start doing what's right for our country for a change, and for our children, and for our futures, because that ain't happening
No, yeah, we certainly weren't doing it during the 4 years your dad was in charge.
right now. I can tell you that. Or we don't live in the United States of America.